All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to this edition of TEW in 2020, doing the territory days of CFW. CFW, sorry everyone, I just had to adjust to get comfortable here in my room as I'm continuing. Should have done this beforehand, but of course, we have a new champion, and I will let you know our new world heavyweight champion, Nick Kozak. He defeated Buddy Rogers, and yeah, so we have a new world champion, Nick Kozak, and it was always. I'm gonna be honest. The first two champions, Nick Kozak was kind of. I don't want to say the chosen one to be our next champion, but definitely someone I wanted to be our world champion. We of course have our first ever tag team champions, the Von Erichs. So they that was kind of an audible because one of the Carl Vons wasn't available on the show, so we called an audible, and it will be indeed the Von Erichs. Next up, the Canadian Heavyweight Championship, of course, is still Abdullah the Butcher, and then the Canadian Classic, which doesn't matter until February, where Luthez actually won. So there we go. But yeah, Nick Kozak, and I'm gonna show you guys kind of a big plan I had. So since this will be marketing, this is not cheating. Even though we don't really have a single wrestler who fits for figurehead, Gorilla Monsoon a little bit, but Gorilla Monsoon, like still more negatives than not. So like you just scroll down. So yeah, going through all the figureheads, we have basically crowned our first figurehead. And while you could say, oh, nowhere near enough star quality, nowhere near charismatic enough, he is extremely over. He's an amazing baby face. So at the end of the day, he might not be the best first ever choice, but he's a local guy. He's won the title. He got over. He caught fire. This was always the plan. So when you see the marketing of the Canadian Federation of Wrestling, it will feature Nick Kozak. So you know it is what it is. Nick Kozak will be the first ever babyface here for CFW. And yeah, so there you have it, everyone. Nick Kozak, our first ever figurehead. And it is what it is. Exclusive handshake. He won the CFW World Heavyweight Championship. He's a 49 popularity. It makes sense. Like what else can you say? This was always going to be the plan. And yeah, now the question is, our first ever world champion, he may walk out backstage wise. Let me just go show you. So we had Luthez leave. Buddy Rogers, we gave him 6 weeks off, let him cool off. Obviously very upset about losing losing the title and losing to uh actually he's been booked pretty strong. I guess losing to well, just signing Luthez, but it is what it is. I'm kind of shocked, but I mean this is kind of realistic. The old guard doesn't really want to put over the new guards, but I kind of just felt like insisting. And where is Nick Kozak? Because he's probably really just pleased, not very happy. Um, so yeah, but so of course today back to the same old formula, 2 weeks at a time of CFW live here, and yeah, let me just go to. But now it's also time to renew our contracts for events and TV. Of course, we have the CFW Live Special 56, and yeah, but just hang on 1 second, and then we will also go through some of the top 100. All right, so our deal for our event, so the CFW Live Special, which will air on Wednesdays, has been renewed. And yeah, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. So now we have two TV deals. CFW Live and the CFW Live special has been renewed. So we will continue with our CFW Live special. And honestly, since we're here, I'm curious. I want to go visit our top 100 so far. I don't have them memorized, but so CFW Live Special 1 was a complete success critically. If we go through, of course, Nick Kozak defeated Buddy Rogers. Rocky Johnson defeated John Tolos in Pick Your Poison. Abdullah the Butcher defeated Gorilla Monsoon. Then you have, the Kozaks versus the Von Erichs and George Gadaski versus Harold Sakata. So solid show, a sellout. There you go. And let's go to matches. Still probably Luthez versus Abdullah the Butcher. And Tony Bourne and the Missouri Mauler. And Nick Kozak versus Buddy Rogers. And Nick Kozak versus Carl Vaughn. The Kozak brothers. And yeah, so those are our top 5. So yeah, Nick Kozak, I think, just based on his matches, has earned it, other than just kind of being handpicked. And attendances, it's just going to be 200 there. So there you go. Don't have pay-per-views, and then TV ratings. The CFW Live special and CFW Live. So yeah, last episode was a complete success, and then viewerships, yeah, CFW Live special. And yeah, so we got 11,000 people tuning in. But yeah, now we'll get into the episodes there. I just kind of wanted to go through top 100, see what's cracked the list, when people think of CFW, what they revisit. So, okay, so here we go. Rookie Showcase, Dusty Rhodes versus Roddy Piper. And Roddy Piper wins, of course. We're kind of, Roddy Piper getting close to not having to worry about these rookie showcases. But for right now, I would say it's probably 2 or 3 months away. But for right now, here's Roddy Piper. He picks up another win on the Rookie Showcase. And then we get to Harold Sakata versus Woody Farmer. And, yep, Woody Farmer gets the win with the bear hug. And here we go. So next up, we have Abdullah the Butcher and Rocky Johnson. They argue and they end up brawling. But basically, Rocky Johnson is like, what do I got to do to finally get the title match? Because we did Pick Your Poison. I won. And now I'm here. What do I got to do? And Abdullah basically comes to the agreement of if you want a shot of the Canadian Championship or the Canada Championship, you will have to beat the person of my choice. And basically, yeah, so the person of my choice for the next 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, Rocky Johnson will have to go through hell to get a shot. And if he comes out on the other side at the next CFW Live Special 2, he will win. All right. And there we go. Next up, in another good match, Jerry Kozak defeats Carl von Steiner. Or Carl von Bronner. Carl von Steiner tried to interfere. However, Nick Kozak came in and helped his brother Jerry Kozak win. And yeah, so solid match, continuing the Carl Vons versus the Kozaks feud. And next up, we have, in an amazing match, honestly, 51, Rocky Johnson defeats Mike York. And, so the open challenge began. Rocky Johnson wins match 1. And what will be the next one, we shall see. And then in our main event segment, we have Nick Kozak come out. Tony Bourne comes out and he goes, Nick Kozak, I know you just helped your brother win. However, I want you to come talk to me for a second. Could you please come down? Nick Kozak comes down, and basically Tony Bourne says, I deserve the title shot. I've been injured so much. I'm not waiting for an event. Next week, I have to have a match for that world title. I want to be able to call myself a world champion. And Nick Kozak goes, you know what? I agree. You've earned this. This was your title shot. It's why I was fighting for the tag titles in the first place. Next week, Tony Bourne versus Nick Kozak for the CFW World Heavyweight Championship. Let's settle this. So that's it for this one. Let's hope we did good. I don't think we nailed this one. 49. I'll take it. Honestly, I kind of was booking the matches and, with Buddy Rogers not being on the card, because I gave Buddy Rogers 6 weeks off to try to let tensions go. Buddy Rogers was not happy about dropping the belt. And kind of only really two matches. It was tough to say how it'd go. Rocky Johnson versus Mike York over delivered, and of course, anything with Nick Kozak seems to be doing well for us. So that's it for this one of that show. Tune in for the rest of this episode on YouTube for the next episode of CFW Live, where we will have Tony Bourne versus Nick Kozak. All right, everyone. So it is official. It is kind of funny how this worked out. But if you go to our show history when CFW started, it is really interesting. It was basically, what was it about? Lou Thez and Buddy Rogers. We had, of course, our main event, Thor Hagen versus Abdullah the Butcher for the Canadian Championship. But then it was, oh, Lou Thez makes an entrance. He gets beaten down before he can talk. What was the Canadian Classic one? First ever final. Lou Thez versus Buddy Rogers. And then we had Lou Thez versus Buddy Rogers 4 was the advertisement. I have come on my research to learn, not exactly accurate. It was 2-0 for Lou Thez, but hey, we were in the same wave. Buddy Rogers won the WWF Championship in Rio de Janeiro. Buddy Rogers defeated Lou Thez to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. No internet back in this day. And then Lou Thez's last match was built around Nick Kozak versus Lou Thez. And then lastly, the CFW Live special, the main event with Buddy Rogers dropping the title. The good news is we got Buddy Rogers to drop the title before he left the company. But basically, yeah, that's kind of the story of our first major arc of Lou Thez and Buddy Rogers is over. It ended with we had them for 4 months. Our first quarter built around them. They did a good job getting us to the point where we wanted to go. I didn't have a lot of plans for them long term. I was going to have Buddy Rogers be a color commentator and Lou Thez be a road agent. Didn't work out that way. They walked out. They quit. But it is what it is. But on the plus side, they left after our plans for them were done. So after Lou Thez wrestled his last ever wrestling match, let me see, are we still in 37th? I'm honestly curious. No. Ooh, look at that. We have moved up to 36th. So we have caught Rileskow, and we're hunting for uh, MVP. So we are now we have moved up in the rankings of wrestling promotions and their size. But yeah, so shout out to them. They're definitely, even though we ended on bad terms, I'm going to go ahead and blacklist Buddy Rogers because he walked out on us. We can't. I don't really want to bring people back who walk out on us in real life, but it is what it is. So we go on a roster. It sucks because those were two guys that were consistently on our show. They were pretty reliable, but it is what it is. We'll see what we can do from here, but yeah, other than that, we'll see where everything goes. But for right now, we have work to be done. We have, of course, the next generation. It's only 3 months. We shouldn't have a next generation. However, we do have the next generation in Nick Kozak and, you know, yeah, Nick Kozak is basically available. We still have Killer Kowalski. He's out injured. The Missouri Mauler, definitely someone who we can use in the future. And yeah, but it's time for the next generation of Rocky Johnson. Thor Hagen's not really the next generation, but Abdul the Butcher. We have names. I'm not super panicked about it, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, that's it for this until we'll do the next episode of CFW Live and go from there. But it's kind of the end of I wouldn't say era, but the our first, like, if we were a TV show, it'd be the end of season 1 of our TV show, I guess you could say. All right, welcome back. New face on the Rookie Showcase, everyone. Nikolai Volkov makes his first appearance here. And, they come in, they have a decent match. Nikolai Volkov getting a great rating for his popularity, only at 7, gets a 39. Solid. These rookie showcases, they're gonna continue. Sound like a broken record, but is what it is. And then we debut the Corsicans. Now I need to give them a script from here on out when they talk, but it is what it is. And, basically the Corsicans come in, they say, oh, we're here to really show the west coast of Canada what the east coast of Canada is really about. So Corsica John and Corsica Joe, the tag team, making their first appearance here, as is kind of a bit of a reset. So here we go. Brute comes in and he just goes off. He's basically like, Nick Kozak, you better keep your eye out on me. I've come in here. You're calling yourself a world champion. You need to prove it. All you've done is you beat Buddy Rogers. He's not even here anymore. So you will show when you go one-on-one with a beast. And then he proves it again by squashing Dusty Rhodes. So, yep, there we go. Beast squashes Dusty Rhodes, and basically, yeah, we have a squash match. So Nick Kozak gonna have to keep his eye out on Beast. Of course, he's defending the title later tonight. And then there we go in a fantastic match. Rocky Johnson defeats Harold Sakata by submission with the Boston Crab. And so one more match to go here for Rocky Johnson, but he does, of course, get attacked by Abdullah the Butcher. And yeah, Abdullah the Butcher kind of showing, like beating him down, sending a message saying you got one more match. However, you're going to be injured going into the match. And then next up in our main event, match of 50, Nick Kozak makes his first defense of the CFW World Heavyweight Championship. He defeats Tony Bourne, and of course, it ends when they shake hands. And basically, yeah, Nick Kozak and Tony Bourne, they shake hands. They raise each other's arms. That's basically my way of ending the Tony Bourne hunts for Roddy Piper. Tony Bourne gets his title shot. He does fall short to Nick Kozak, but it is what it is. And yeah, 48. So a solid show. Not our bestest in the world show, but it is what it is. We got some new faces here, learning how to book the new faces, and we'll go from there. But that's it for this episode. And we'll see where everything goes. But it is very interesting. We're kind of entering a new phase here in CFW. Of course, Buddy Rogers has walked out, and we'll see where all that goes. And yeah, all right. Let me just so yeah, don't and then guys, like the content producing on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, we'll see where we stack up with the rest of the shows and what we're putting on Saturday Night Wrestling 64. Like we're still not quite. We're building, but then we got World Championship Wrestling House Show. We're close to them. MVP House Show, not close to them. Saturday Night Wrestling, yeah, 64. So it is what it is. We're just trying to slowly crawl up. And then we're still probably at 29 as we continue to lose money. But yeah, so it'll have to be our next show, but we'll go from there. And yeah, so there we go. Titles. Nick Kozak has made one defense. His young title reign here. We'll see how long it goes. But other than that, I'll see everyone for the next episode of CFW, which will be the final 2 episodes before the CFW live special. See you guys then.